reverse what Clinton did.
Right.
And then it was far worse than Clinton. Now with Obama, Bush tripled the size of government. Now Obama's saying he's going to expand it even more. He's saying change is even bigger government, bigger state, but the people coming in and these youth brigades and 18 to 24, and it's now on the White House website, forced service, but it's a domestic draft where you do stuff for the government domestically. That's 180 degrees from the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. So segueing into that, what do you think of the change, and it is change, more of the same, but of Barack Obama?
Well, I'm definitely apprehensive of a bigger government, no matter what. I mean, a bigger government, to me, sounds like more possibilities for problems, but a bigger government that's not this government, you know, I mean, maybe what he's going to do will add to it in a positive way.
Well, I tell you, he's totally on the bank. I mean, he is the man of the bankers. He got the banker takeover bill, which then they bait and switch and didn't spend for what they said, and now they're saying the money's secret. I mean, I'm just telling you, Joe, and remember, and I know you're a smart guy, the day of 9/11, it sounds condescending, but I mean, really, I know you can grasp this. Most people can't seem to. The day of 9/11, I came out and said it's an inside job. Here's the evidence. You were on the air with me.
I remember.
But I mean, I don't just make things up. I've got just reams of evidence. Obama is probably going to end up being like Adolf Hitler. I mean, I'm saying if you think Bush was bad, prepare yourself.
Really? You really think that it's going to... I mean, but he seems to be so socially liberal, and it seems like he wants to close Guantanamo Bay, and he wants to...
But see, if you... Exactly.
Not
but
really?
ABC News admits they're going to open them up in the U.S. He's shutting that one down, paying lip service that he's against it, while opening more and leaving the ghost sites in Europe, you know, the real camps open.
And what are these real camps in Europe? There's torture camps?
Yeah, oh, yeah. They're in Romania. They're in Latin America. They are in Jordan. They're in Egypt. They're in Poland. They're in Czech Republic. And it is...
Now, but let me ask you this. If you think that the New World Order is in control of the world and then they manipulate the world's government, why do they need a Guantanamo Bay? Why do they need to torture some...
Because they need... Well, why did the Catholic Church need to have inquisitors to torture people to say they'd committed these crimes or witchcraft? Because they had to legitimize the whole suppression thing they were doing. They torture you to get fake confessions. Here's an example. 3 weeks ago, they roll in, 6 defendants out of Guantanamo. They've been held between 7 and 5 years. You know, they were picked up different times. And they go, they're about to plead guilty. And they walk them in, and no video's allowed, but the press is there. And they say, how do you plead? I've been tortured. I've been tortured. Don't execute me. It's fake. But then that was barely in the news. But that was in the news. And so they're canceling these trials because they've got to take them back and torture them some more.
Well, this is also the first administration in a long time that used mercenaries. Right?
Yes, and they're keeping all of that.
Blackwater is not only doing that overseas stuff, they're also involved in the war on drugs.
In California.
Yeah, they're going after medical marijuana dispensaries. It's incredible. I mean, there's photos.
They confiscated guns in New Orleans.
Oh. It's spooky, you know. I mean, I don't understand politics enough to say that I believe that, you know, Barack Obama's going to make a change. But I think one thing that he's good for is the psyche of the country. Yeah. I think that what he represents to people is a new possibility. The fact that a guy who is a half-black guy from a single mom, like, can make it.
No, that's a positive thing. We're going to come back and talk about that.
Positive.
The problem is he's going to make everybody love their slavery as this agenda happens and make them feel good.
Maybe he infiltrated. Maybe he got into the system and he's gonna clean it up from the inside.
With Secretary of Defense Gates?
Well, maybe he knows that the Anunnaki are coming and the world ends in 2012.
Stay there, Joe Rogan. Stay with us.
Another kid. The days are bright and filled with pain. Enclose me in your gentle rain. The time you ran was too insane with me to...
JoeRogan.net is the website. He's got a huge MySpace with millions of people. Joe, what's the best site for folks to check out for all your comedy, your material, the work you're doing, your political statements?
JoeRogan.net's the best site to check out. I have a Facebook page and a MySpace page and everything, and I do go on those, but my website, JoeRogan.net, is where I do most of my stuff. And then I have a message board on JoeRogan.net that I'm on pretty much every day.
Continuing with Barack Obama, just he's created a separate USAService.org, never before done, under himself, private.
What does that mean?
And they're running national, it's not government, they're running national TV ads as government ads saying, join this. It's gotten hundreds of thousands of members in a week and a half. And when you study history, that is classical fascism or Mao Zedong communism, when Mao had his own private group of youth. And then on top of that, I'm sure you've heard, they want 18 to 24 forced, compulsory, a new domestic army as big as the U.S. military.
That's what Obama wants?
Absolutely. You want me to pull the clips?
Well, tell me, yeah, explain it to me.
No, I mean,
this is what he wants? He wants a youth army for domestic issues?
And they're talking about...
Voluntary?
No, compulsory. There's
compulsory.
One that's compulsory, but he's going to have a separate volunteer corps that's private under him. Running with government money on TV.
Wow.
I mean, isn't
What's he planning?
I mean, isn't it dangerous any time in history?
Sure. When
they say, get behind this guy and he'll fix it?
Yes, I think it's always dangerous, and I think right now we're very desperate for something to bring us back to normal. I mean, people were living in fantasy land for a long time. They got wealthy with very little effort, and I think people just want that to come back again. They want our economy to blossom to the ridiculous proportions that it was in the past.
So they'll drink the Kool-Aid if the Kool-Aid server claims he'll bring Valhalla back.
Right. Or, but... who knows what his motivation is? I mean, his motivation may be pure. I mean, his motivation may very well be that he's trying to fix the predicament that we're in. Or he may be a New World Order shill, ladies and gentlemen.
I have him on video calling for a New World Order.
Oh, what does he say?
He said we all want a New World Order.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Well, do you think that people, when they say a new world order, do they mean like a new order to the world?
Well, they've all written books.
Or do they mean like new world order as in like Darth Vader type stuff?
Well, his advisors have written books about what they mean.
And what did they say? Like
Rahm Emanuel said, National Force Service, everyone will have to serve. And they say the new world order means a world government.
One world government.
Run by the private banks.
Oh, what a good idea. It's so ridiculous. I mean, we're never going to get to the point where, I give you gold and, and you give me a side of beef. We're not going to get to that spot anymore. It's always going to be dictated by money and credit, and things just get so ethereal. They just get so
And because they control it, and because they control that ether, they rule. I showed you this article out of the L.A. Times 2 days ago.
What is this?
The woman's children spilt the Bloody Mary, were fighting, so she spatted one on the leg.
She hit it. She hit the kid?
Well, but she wasn't charged because spanking isn't illegal. Hurting them is.
Okay.
She was charged with a disturbance as a terrorist on a plane.
Right.
And is given a big prison sentence. Let me just read it.
A prison sentence?
In-flight confrontations can lead to terrorism charges. Reporting from Los Angeles and Oklahoma City, Tamara Jo Freeman was on the Frontier Airlines flight to Denver in 2007 when her two children began to quarrel. She's a reporter. Over the window shade and then spilled a Bloody Mary in her lap. She spanked each of them on the thigh with 3 swats. It was a small incident, but one that highlighted the anxiety of the September 11th attacks would eventually have enormous ramifications for Freeman and her children. A flight attendant confronted Freeman, who was reported by hurling a few profanities, and then it goes on. The incident aboard the Frontier flight ultimately led to Freeman's arrest and conviction for a federal felony defined as an act of terrorism under the USA Patriot Act, the controversial federal law enacted after 2001 attacks in Washington. They arrested her, didn't allow her to have a lawyer under terror charges for 3 months till she pled guilty.
So she was locked up for 3 months?
Until she pled guilty. See, that's what they do in the Patriot Act. But then it goes on to say 200 people alone on flights charged with terrorism for as much as arguing. It says that.
Well, they do have, like, a lot of flight attendants especially, do have this crazy attitude. Like, when they tell you to shut off your phone, if you didn't listen to them, if you weren't paying attention, and they'll come over you like they're soldiers. It gets like they have the power to get rid of you. Sir, I will ask you off this plane. Like, whoa.
Joe, stay there. Quick break, long segment coming up. You want to take calls?
Yes.
800-259-9231.